Hello everyone, I'm Tremayne, and I've decided to do this video because of something a friend of mine just wrote in one of the groups I'm in. And it's about the election. It's about Biden. And there's some things that I really just want to say about the election and why I really want people to calm down when it comes down to Biden. I want you to celebrate. But you know, as he goes into office, we need to calm down. And this is the reason why. I'm having a flashback of when Obama got elected the first time. And I remember I voted for Obama both times. Extremely happy. In a lot of ways, it was life-changing because we never thought this country would elect a black man into office, that we would have a black woman as first lady, that it felt like the racism in the country was all consuming and that you would never get to that echelon. So to see that happen, because contrary to popular belief, slavery, Jim Crow, all that, it wasn't that long ago. So we've come a long way, and Obama being elected into office was a major moment in history that let us know that all things are positive. Not all things are positive. All things are possible. That we need to strive, we need to work, we need to fight, we need to stay strong, and it's great for the kids to see. So even the way they lived, you know, you didn't see Michelle, you know, pushing Obama's hand away. So you saw a loving couple, a loving family, a loving president. You saw a lot. And I remember when he got elected. And here's the thing you got to pay attention to. There were so many people that felt like Obama was the second coming to Jesus. There were so many people that felt like, you know, now that Obama's in office, racism is going to be gone. You know, they're going to let all black people out of jail. We're going to be the upper class. You know, we're going to be over everybody. There were so many people with all of these really ridiculous notions of, you know, what Obama's going to be. I remember I was going to a gym, and this gym, I always like to say it was like the Cheers gym, because Sundays, it was like the barbershop, the guys are talking, and it was like really a lot of older guys. It was the sauna, and it was like a lot of older guys, and they would talk about women, they would talk about life, they would talk about politics, they would talk about sports, and it was like everybody knew everybody. So when you walked in, they go, hey, you know, how you doing? And a lot of times they knew your name. So that's why I felt like it was like the Cheers gym. Most of them would be like, just like, talking about life, and it was just so nice to hear all of these deep conversations. And when it got around to Obama, there were so many people with these high expectations about how every single thing was going to change. And then they had people calling him out, you know, on the floor, out his name. He was the most disrespected president. He was the president that he not only had a Democratic president that not only had Republican people fighting him, he had Democrats fighting him. So it was like, I sat there and I watched as this president was embattled from both sides, even the side that's been working for him. And constantly, he started off trying to be, you know, what Biden said, you know, he's trying to make peace. He's trying to, like, you know, shake hands, cross lines, all this type of thing. And, you know, he goes to put his hand out, they spit on him. And it wasn't until the second term, with all that gray hair, that he was like, F it. You know, this is how it's going to be. So, because, and it was just so hard watching people put so much into, try to put so much on his shoulders when Obama came into office. we were in the process of being in the second Great Depression. This Great Depression that we were in was worse than the first Great Depression. So people were losing their houses, job market was horrible, nobody had any money. It was just a miserable country. And remember, people love to say how Republicans are the money politicians. They're the ones that gets jobs and that. No, we had 8 years of Republican presidency, and things just got worse and worse and worse. And when Obama came in, he spent so much time in those first 4 years trying to clean up 8 years of Bush's mess that, he didn't get a lot of the things he wanted to get done. And when he was trying, people were just stopping him at every corner. And then he would get a victory here, he would get a victory there. But it was just too much. Too many people fighting him. Second term, he got a lot more done. But he didn't have really the 8 years time, because he had 4 years fixing messes that leaded into that second term, and then he still had both parties fighting him, and then he had the people that were disappointed that he didn't change the world in a way that now everything was a Disney movie, So that's how I feel about Biden. I'm like hearing the same thing when it comes to Biden, where people are like, oh, Biden's going to come in and he's just going to make everything great, and, he's going to change everything, and he's the second coming of Jesus. I've literally heard somebody say that. So I understand that Joe Biden, who I did vote for, has given us hope. But what we also have to understand is that we got a bad economy. We got a bad job market, we in an epidemic. So he's got to come in there and deal with 4 years of Trump's mess. Okay? He's got to come in there and get us a real plan for dealing with the virus. He has to come in and turn the job markets around and try to get money and people working, and, hopefully he'll put some stimulus money out there. So we are in a situation where he can't just come. He's not coming into a country where he can just come in and ride that momentum of, wealth and prosperity, and, jobs are up, and, people are happy. He can't ride that wave. He's literally just coming into the mud and trying to clean it up. So when I say calm down about Biden, I'm not saying calm down that, he ain't gonna do nothing. He's got a lot to do. Okay. Now, when it comes to Kamala, do we ever know what the vice president does? Do we ever really see what the vice president's doing? So, do we know what Biden did when Obama was in office? It's good for history, but I just wanted to say, that I'm happy. This last 3 days of the election, I was depressed. I was watching these numbers. I'm like, it's 99%. It's 2 days later, y'all still showing 99% counted. Some votes still ain't counted. Nevada has till the 12th. So I'm like, I was just stressing. I stopped stressing once I saw 290. And part of me is like, I won't fully be able to exhale and enjoy the fact that it's truly over and we're starting with a new president who has, is going to start turning things back around, until the Electoral College votes. They do not have to vote what their people say. They're supposed to. They don't have to. So I don't want no shenanigans. I don't want no upsets. I don't want no craziness. Let's get that electoral vote in, make it official. And then I will be truly happy. Um, and I know that some of you out there are Republicans watching this, and you are like, oh no, he's just a Democrat and he hates Trump. And let me explain this to you. There's some things that Republicans believe, I believe. There's some things that Democrats believe that I believe. There's no one party that has all of my belief systems in them. What I have to look at is life. My work, my businesses, and my clients, my friends, my personal life. How are we affected while you're in Congress, you're in the presidency, when you're the mayor, when you're the governor, when you're in the House, the Congress, period. When you're an elected official, how is my life when you're in office? When Obama was in office, well, let me start with Clinton. When Clinton was in office, I made a lot of money. I had plenty of job opportunities. And I was happy. And then, we had Bush in office. And all of a sudden, my business suffered because if my clients don't have money, then I don't have money. So business went down. Things got tough. Things got tight. I don't care about all of the things that people argue back and forth about. I gauge presidents, mayors, governors based on how my lifestyle is affected. So when Obama got in office, I made plenty of money. Things turned around. I got more clients. Business was booming. And it was very exciting and very happy. Then Trump got in office. What happened? I started making less money. Again, things started going down because I own a gym and I own a personal training business and I have a production company and I do music videos and web series and all those other types of things. I have multiple businesses and different streams of income, and all of them get affected when people that I need to be a part of my business, people I need to be clientele, suddenly don't have that extra money for paying hundreds of dollars for a personal trainer per month, or paying hundreds of dollars a month to be in my gym. So it's a luxury to come to my gym because it's just for you. It's tailored for you. So you pay a lot of money for the average person to enjoy the gym, the training, everything. Luckily, during this epidemic, because my gym is a one-person gym, able to sanitize, able to keep everything clean, so that when one client comes in, and then they usually clean themselves too, that you're not going to walk out of here with something you didn't walk in with. And I have cameras in every room except for the bathroom and changing room. So I don't even have to be down there to train you. I can train you via camera because that's audio. So during this epidemic, I made it work. But they can't afford these types of services when they're worrying about they can't pay for their mortgage, or they're going to lose their job, or they're waiting on a stimulus check. So if they don't get paid correctly, I can't get paid. If I can't get paid, I go into debt. So forget about all of the, this person is, politicians tell you what they want to tell you to get elected in office. It don't matter if they're Democrat or Republican. And I give you a perfect example, because this is just for the people who are like, oh, he just wants Biden in office, because he's a Democrat or because he's black or whatever. The governor, currently the governor of Maryland, I voted for him. He's a Republican. You heard me? I voted for our Republican governor because the guy he was running against was the lieutenant governor for Martin O'Malley, who was a decent mayor, a horrible governor. And I'm still mad at things that O'Malley did. And that'll make this video long if I do an O'Malley rant. And that's why when O'Malley ran for president, he didn't even win Maryland, because we knew he was trash. And then when his lieutenant governor wasn't even giving interviews, wasn't even coming to the black neighborhoods, he felt because he was black he had it. And Hogan, he sounded like he wasn't a far right Republican. He was right in the middle, which he's still in the middle. And I said, I'm sorry, but I can't vote for him. So I didn't vote for the black guy. I voted for the white guy. So for me, this ain't about race. This is about how the city is ran, how the state is ran, and how that's how you vote. You don't vote based on race. You don't vote based on racism or prejudice. You vote for the person who's going to do the best for the city. Brandon Scott, I voted for him to be mayor. You know why I voted for him to be mayor? Because, and he's black, but the reason why I voted for him to be mayor is because we had riots here in Baltimore. And when we had those riots in Baltimore, our BS Stephanie Rawlings Blake was the mayor, who cared more about her looks than the city. She was dumbfounded when Brandon Scott got on that mic and he talked to us and he was giving different plans about, making things better. And I was like, I wish you were mayor. I wish you were mayor. And now he is. So that was even before he ran. So I vote for people, character. I listen to what they say they're going to do, but it's just like being in a relationship. People can tell you they love you, but never listen to a person telling them love you. Love is shown. It's not heard, it's shown. You should know a person loves you based on their actions. So if you're a politician, when you get in office, you need to be held accountable. And based on your actions is whether or not I vote for you again. Or if I didn't vote for you the first time, next time you're up for election, it'll decide how I vote. So my vote is a very rational vote. My vote is not based on race. My vote is not based on prejudice. And when it comes to Trump, not only was he a horrible president for us being in an epidemic, but he systematically went into that office trying to figure out anything Obama did good. That was his whole agenda. That was his whole agenda. If Obama did it, it's got to go. Period. I'm not going to get into all of the things that Trump has done. If you are a person who has your head in the sand and you feel like he was a good president, that, the economy is great and nobody's worrying about losing their houses and the job market is excellent, and, he made sure that we were safe during an epidemic and he didn't embolden, racism, tell them they're fine people. The thing about Trump is, Trump has shown you who he is. He didn't have to tell you, he didn't have to say a word, he had to do a tweet. We see who Trump is. When you take away all of the speeches, when you take away all of the buffoonery and all of the, black people he kind of pulled on up and was like, look, this black person is saying that they approve of me. Let's, come on, Lil Wayne, thumbs up. Diamond and Silk, all of them. Do you really think the majority of black folks was looking at them like, oh, we're so proud of you? No. We were looking at you. We were calling you sellouts and coons. Still are. 50 Cent, Ice Cube. And I'll say this about the celebrities that were on the side of Trump. I'm like, you dummies. You're so dumb. You should have waited until after the election if you're going to endorse and say, oh, well, we got to work for him. He won the election. We're trying to do. No. You saw how angry people were. You saw how people were tired of his ish. And you still, dummy, endorsed him. And a lot of you, I feel like Biden should have shown that he was going to tax 40% for anybody over $400,000, making $400,000 a year. Because that made a lot of celebrities go, oh, hell no. You ain't taking that much money out of my income. And the worst part of that the worst part of that thinking is, you want the poor people who made you that millionaire, you want the poor people to get taxed ridiculously, not the rich people who can afford it. So there was one rapper who put on there, how would you feel if you made $1 million and got a check for $600,000? I feel pretty damn good. You know what I could do with $600,000? You're telling somebody who's not making $1 million a year how bad it is not making $600,000. I mean, only making $600,000. You know how stupid that sounds? You want somebody who, let's say, is even making $60,000 a year, who has kids and a family and is struggling, because a lot of times you got a mortgage, you got car payment, you got life. And so you might even be living paycheck to paycheck. But then you look at that paycheck to paycheck you're getting and it's gutted. And now you're trying to figure out how to get your kids in a better school so they can get the best education. I can do that with $600,000. Might not be able to do that with 10. So yeah, it's rich people problems. But and let me bring up one more thing. I knew this was going to be a little long. I'm not going past a half hour. It's 22-minute mark. But I want to read something to you. One of my friends wrote this. Question. I'm not a Debbie Downer, but with all the rejoicing I see on TV, people are forgetting that almost half the country felt otherwise and still vote for Trump. That is a big problem, because this was not a slam dunk for Biden at all. This race was closer than it should have been, which is true. All that energy of disappointment and anger they have just evaporated. It's transferred to something else, which worries me. I don't know. Maybe I'm just crazy. I just feel worried now. And I tried not to write a dissertation to him. Because I just wanted him to understand that now is the time to celebrate. But when Biden is actually in office, calm down, understand how much work he has to do, understand that it may take 8 years to really get us to where we want to be, but this first 4 is going to be tight. So I'm going to read to you what I wrote back to him. All my friends are doing heart emojis to it, so this is what I wrote to him. Trump in office made racists feel it was their time and they were in power. People who were secretly racist were showing their asses left and right. Defeating Trump sends a strong message that they are not as powerful as they believe, and Trump only got into office because of Russia, rigged elections, black people hating on Hillary, women out wanting to vote for women, and racism. People realized they effed up and came out in droves to nip this in the bud. It does not mean that the world will magically stop being racist. Cops won't still kill black people, or that people won't get incarcerated unjustly. What it means is that we finally got ourselves a big victory. one that we can rejoice and be proud of, and that we can continue to fight with the knowledge that every vote counts. If we allow ourselves to feel scared about what they're going to do next, we will never ever feel that we're allowed to be happy. It's okay to celebrate this victory and focus on today. Tomorrow will do what it's going to do, and we just have to be ready to fight. Live, love, and be happy through it all. That is what I wrote to him, because that is how I feel. And I'm going to wrap this up with telling you why I said that. I sent him that message because when I was a kid, I was raped. And for many, many years, I was angry, mad, hateful, and it was just ruining my life emotionally, my relationships. It was always like this shadow that was following me, that was a part of me, that intruded in every decision making thing that I did. I wasn't a happy person. People constantly said, smile, why aren't you smiling? Why aren't you smiling? Well, I got raped and child abused. So yeah, I'm not a happy camper. But then someone told me something that snapped me out of it. They said to me, every time you allow yourself to feel the emotions, the sadness, the hate, the anger that came with being raped, you're still being raped. You're still in that moment. You're still that 6-year-old child. And you've never stopped being raped. You're just getting raped over and over and over again for years. When are you going to let it go? When are you going to allow yourself to be happy? When are you not going to, let this affect your relationships? You only get one life. And with that one life, what are you going to do with it? Are you going to be sad? Are you going to be scared? Are you going to, not want to live? Because guess what? He's living his life. He ain't worrying about you. He got raped. He went on and raped other people. Got my cousin pregnant when she was 12. He just kept on doing what he was doing. But I'm still stuck there in that room. And that's how I feel about racism. Know that it's there. Understand that there are people that will want to hurt you just because of how you look, your skin complexion, your race, sometimes just because you're a man. Know that there are people that are hateful, people that are prejudiced, and people that if you encounter them, this is not going to be a good experience for you. But you're going to get over it. You're going to move on. You don't allow those people to get in your spirit. You don't allow those people to take away your joy, your happiness. You don't allow those people to make you feel less than. You don't allow those people to make you feel worthless or that you're not good enough. What you do is, now of course, if they physically try to do something to you, you defend yourself. But you let them know that you're worthless to me. You're meaningless to me. You're not going to fuck up my day. You're not going to fuck up my life. Because I'm not going to allow it. And it starts with me not allowing you to mess with my peace, my happiness, my love, my joy, my goals, my dreams, my reality, my fantasy, my love. You live in that hate. But I'm not. You can keep that. You can keep that poison. Because, I'm going to love, I'm going to laugh, I'm going to be happy. And there are days where I'm not, because I deal with depression sometimes. And when I deal with depression, sometimes I forget these lessons that I'm talking about right now. And that's why I'm glad I have somebody in my life that loves me, that reminds me that look at everything that you have. Look at everything that's going on in your life. I was a fireman. Okay, I'm a retired firefighter. I've seen people burned to death. I've seen people decapitated. I've seen people lose body parts. I've seen people, you know, after they had been raped. I've seen people that were shot, killed, dead, you know, squashed. Literally, like something fell on them, they got squashed. You know, I've seen some of the horrors of the world. You know, I've been in that burning building with fire everywhere, and I got a hose because I was usually on the engine, and I got a hose, and I'm like, okay, quick prayer, let's do this. You know, so you know, I've seen some of the worst things of the worst. That smoke clears. You look at somebody's house and they've lost everything. You know, I got food in the refrigerator. You know, my mortgage is paid. I still have my 2 businesses. I've got my soap fam. I have my 2 YouTube channels. You know, I'm close to 25,000 subscribers on the other one. So it's like, you know, and people are very encouraging in the comment section. I love that, you know, people enjoy my commentary and the things I say. You know, if you don't, I block you. That's part of me keeping my peace. So when people get rude in the comment section, I don't respond. I block, because that's how you treat trolls. That's how you treat trolls. You know, we can have a different opinion. If your opinion differs from mine and you say it respectfully, fine. But even if I'm reading and you block, I ain't got time for that. I ain't got time to even finish that sentence. If you go on any of my social media, except for Twitter, I don't really get a lot of hate on Twitter. But if you go on like my Facebook block list, that's a long list. It's a really long list. You know, if you go on my YouTube block list, that's a long list. You know, because I don't care if you have a different opinion of me. I just care that you're respectful about it. So I went over my 30 minutes, 32 minutes. And if you made it to the end of this editorial, then go ahead and hit that like button. Go ahead and subscribe. Hopefully, in a respectful manner, let me know if you agree with me, disagree with me. And I feel like I make sense. So that's the end of this video. Thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next one.